All right, hello again. Let's see, we left off. Oh yeah, I'll do a little recap where we left off. It's always just helpful for me. What we did, oh, Michelle's here, by the way, so you might hear Michelle jump in occasionally with some helpful thoughts or questions.
Hello.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I did we got the author pages hooked up. So if we go into the code, our routes, and we look at the author pages, we have this dynamic page here, which was name. So if you go take a look at that, we'll see there's not a lot in here, which is great because it works and there's not a lot of stuff going on. Basically, we hit this new endpoint. We have all these endpoints now. Michelle, I think this is new to you. And I'm actually going to restructure this today a little bit. But basically with whatever the page name is in the URL. So let's actually get this running and not look at my Spanish language lesson videos. All right. Nice. Love starting with an error. Okay, let's start there. Problem with our data. The only place we're loading data is home and oh, look at that. I'm gonna guess that's the problem. It is the problem. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, we did author pages. So if an author page is author / Russell Goldenberg. So this is the param, which is this right here. And it's called name because the dynamic parameter is name. And then we hit this API endpoint, which gets us data, which is stories and author, and then it renders it. Let's make sure it's still working. It is. So that's what happens. When we hit that, we'll just do another one. Matt Daniels. Look at that.
Nice.
And so we can see what this data stuff looks like. So if we look at the API/name.js, again, it utilizes this name parameter. And then what we did was, we did a few other things. We kind of cleaned up our author data. So if we look at our author's JS file, I moved the cleaning into this JS file. So instead of loading in this uncleaned CSV every time, we have this little helper JS file that exports the cleaned version, which really in the author case really just adds this slug, which is actually really useful for us though, because the slug corresponds to this name parameter. So we can do a lookup and then grab this stuff. There's a little crosswalky thing happening here. So basically we have the stories, which have the author names, but just an ID form. So like when I look up myself in the stories data, it's just Russell, but obviously we have Russell Goldenberg as the name param. So I'm doing a lookup into authors. Anyways, okay, so we load the stories data and the authors data. And then we find the author data based on what this parameter is, matching on the slug property. And then we filter down the stories. Bad naming data doesn't mean much there. Anyways, we just find the stories that the author wrote, and then we return just those stories and the author data, like which has the bio and Twitter handle and stuff. So that way, these pages can load much less data and be more efficient. And that is what our API is doing. And I don't know, not much else to say about that, but it's working. So a few things I wanted to do off the bat. Let's see if we go back to I made some. So I use the P1 and P2 tag as priority 1, priority 2. So I can just kind of give some priority to what to tackle next, some blocked issues, some questions. Let's see what I marked as P1. Oh yes, a few things. The endpoint extensions. I remember we were having a problem. If we look at the kit docs again. Let's see the blog JSON. Wait, was it JSON.js? Oh yeah, this is I wanted to do this, but it wasn't working for some reason. So I want to try again. I looked at the starter code, like for just like a dummy project that comes with SvelteKit. And I figured I could just look at that and use their conventions, and maybe that'll help. So first, let's start with the home page, which is index. So basically, all I wanted to do was be able to say JSON, and that wasn't working. So I have there. I thought I had it open somewhere. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm just going to copy and paste what they did for their route. So I don't think this is going to make any difference, but maybe it does. So home.js, they just exported. It's just a different way. I mean, they use the arrow function instead. I don't think that's going to make a difference. We'll save that. And then in their route itself, let's see, it looked like nothing fancy. It was basically that. I didn't get an issue when I just did that, so maybe it's actually working now. Oh wait, this is still right. JSON.js. Interesting. It's not giving me an error. Maybe maybe the problem was this missing thing last time, which would be really frustrating. Let's also copy that over. It's gonna be funny if this works. Okay, it's totally working. Amazing. So that means I can rename this one also to JSON.js, and then in our name page, we should be able to do Yay, okay.
Yay.
It's working. I don't know why it wasn't working before. That's frustrating. Also, I'm going to get rid of these things that we're not using, where we are using fetch, we are using page. Definitely not planning on using session and context, because I don't even really know what they're for yet. Same in here. Okay, a little cleanup. So that's one thing. Well, that was easier than I expected. I'm going to close that issue. The next thing I wanted to do was a little restructuring. So there's a good blog I found yesterday. It just came out. How I built a blog with SvelteKit, and I was checking out their source code. And actually, this wasn't from this. We're going to use this for something else. Still a good blog because it has a lot of full source code on their project. We're going to use this for XML. I was trying to figure out how to do that because we're going to have an RSS feed at some point. So what I didn't like about this is like the flat, everything's in the same directory. There's something nice about the SvelteKit starter template example is everything, well, anything that hits an API endpoint is within a folder. So I think I want to mimic that structure. It'll just be maybe, I don't know, instead of just having this API endpoint, which maybe it was fine. I was going to put everything in a folder. So like everything would be nested. So like author, right? This, I move this file into here. So they're just more like grouped together rather than having this generic API folder. I don't know if you're there, Michelle, do you have any feelings on that? Then there's just a tighter coupling of stuff. It probably doesn't make a difference at the end of the day, but
yeah, I don't have a strong feeling. The nesting seems nice, slightly nicer, but yeah.
Okay, let's go with that, because then let's see. So in theory, I'm sorry, let's get the right one. Name.svelte. You would just look for dynamic name.json. And then everything. And then I suppose the only one that doesn't follow that is the index svelte, because I don't think, well, because this is like the app, like the regular index, but I guess I'd put, okay, let's move this. That one would be in root. Let's delete the API folder. I'm going to rename it index.json. And then in here, that's the only one that doesn't get a folder because it's the root. Let's see if everything still works. Everything still works. It's happy. I think I'm happier about that. Oh, shucks. I thought it was going to be happy. Author. JSON. So close. That is how you spell my name. Darn, what'd I do? Oh, maybe this is. Maybe I have to do this. Yes, okay. So this is obviously, that's relative to the routes, the routes folder, not the folder it's in, which makes sense. Imagine if I just did without the slash, it would still work. Okay, that works too. Let's go with relative paths for now and see if it's happy. Cool. All right, that's good. Let's commit that. Jump to extensions and sub. Not a good commit message. Okay, so that's nice. So that basically, if any of these pages end up having to hit data, which I'm sure they will, maybe, then they will also get that treatment. They'll be turned into directories. But for now, they're just singleton pages that don't have to hit an endpoint, so we won't modify them. Lovely. Let's keep chugging along. Unless, do you have any questions if you're there, Michelle?
Nope.
No questions. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. These are exciting, but they all need to be done. Oh, this one's easy. I think I actually got rid of that already. So we found that everything was being pre-rendered already. Yeah, that's not an issue anymore. Close it. this one, let's see, oh, font path. Okay, so that's interesting because this is maybe more of like a hosting thing. So obviously that, or maybe not obviously, the font path seems to be, can't tell if that's actually working. Let's take a closer look at font stuff. That doesn't look like any special font. Oh, is it? I definitely know what the other font looks like. I really should have had Jan for part of this one.
I saw an error before you went to the, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's the problem. Well, that's part of the problem. We'll start there. So yes, this is not our font. Thank you. This is why I need other people here and not just me. So let's go to, because that's using this font CSS file, which, because we changed, annoyingly, we had to change the, and actually, let me comment out the build. Okay, we had to change our structure here because our legacy site uses this convention of not just assets, but it has this common folder. So I just had to stick with it. So now it's common assets. So this is part of the problem. Also, we should figure out, wow, it's a lot of possible fonts. I don't know if fonts we're actually going to be using for this. We usually use these two heavily. I'm going to delete all these others and we can re-add them rather than have them commented out. Right, Tiempos, text, Tiempos, why is there two of those? Oh, that's national, I see. All right. Just going to go with those four for now. I really need to take off those links. Everything is clickable. Okay, the fonts seem to have loaded. Again, let me just like change up the styles. So let's go to our app CSS, which I already have some variables. So let's change. Let's see our homepage. Let's change our H1 to font family. Serif. That looks like our font. Okay, so fonts are loading locally. I think this was actually more of a problem for the GitHub build, if I remember correctly. So let's actually explore that. Let us, I want to actually make sure, is that our font? Oh, no. Let's see if I can tell. I really can't tell. Oh, it says it's loading. Okay. Oops. That's R is pretty distinctive looking. Oh yeah, those are the same. Okay, awesome. Great. So fonts are working locally. Now, if we run our build, ignore the error that's about to be thrown because it still builds. Maybe do make GitHub. That'll eventually be on the site, and then we can take a look. If we go back to our Svelte config, let's just remind ourselves we are changing the base path like that. I wonder if we have to change the assets path as well. That's a possibility. And also, let me look at bring up the docs while we're at it. App, what was it, internal? Oh, sorry, that was a, what's it called? Static. Okay, so that shouldn't have to be messed with. Oh, wait. Base. Oh, we didn't touch pages. We just touched base. That's fine. Okay, I think. Yes. Yep, did that. I have an Jekyll file. Oh, we don't have to change that because we did disable Jekyll. I guess all that does is, okay, let's actually rebuild. Now let's take a look at the, so, have a problem. Let's have. Okay, let's take a look at the build folder just to get a sense, or docs, because I'm copying everything over. Actually, let me just go ahead and straight up delete it, redo it. So it's fresh. Interesting, it still has internal. I wonder why. Oh, probably because build has internal still. I don't like that it doesn't clear stuff out totally. All right, let's do a fresh everything. Apparently internal is always there. I don't know anything anymore. Interesting. So this is that data file we generated. Interesting. And it puts it in the root, because it just literally puts it wherever the page exists. I don't know if I like that now. I'm thinking back to I might actually want to bring back API. Oh, and actually, let's go ahead. I'm like running this 1,000 times. Let's go back to index. Let's go to home. And because it only pre-renders pages that are linked somewhere, let's just add some hard-coded links to author / Russell Goldenberg, so we can see what that looks like. And Assuming that should have built out. Guess we'll see what happens. Okay, there's the links. Let's see what happens when we they didn't take into account the base path. That's not ideal. I'm assuming now if I go to author / this is not going to work. That's why we didn't see anything rendered. This is annoying.
Wait, so is it missing? Because the link before is missing the website 2 part? Or what's the base path that's missing?
Oh, actually, the problem is, okay, so this is like saying go to the root of the domain. So actually, maybe I just need to do that. Because this is really just a GitHub pages problem because we're hosting in a subdirectory, right?
Yeah.
We're hosting it in website 2. We're not obviously hosting on this
Right.
straight up domain, which is kind of like, it's annoying because when we do put it on the pudding, it's going to be on root. So we don't have to do any of this subdirectory business. I mean, technically, I guess I don't have to put up a thing to GitHub pages, and then we could probably ignore all this. But basically, setting base path. I've had to do this a few times, and I feel like sometimes it's another place that you have to modify stuff. But maybe actually just changing these to relative is what I needed to do. So let's see if that. I don't know. I don't know. You didn't even ask your question. I just started answering.
No, you answered my question was it's missing the website 2 part, which is the base path in dev.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We were going to the same place.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Should really make something the same. Looked like the fonts were working though. So I think. Can't tell. I don't think so. Let's
I can't tell.
I'm sure the console will tell you. Oh yeah. Okay. So these were looking for website 2. Okay, they were looking for app assets, pages, comment assets, which is clearly not right. We don't want like that first app assets pages part. We just want the part where it skips to common because that's right there. So the question is why? And once again, this is only a GitHub issue. Oh, let's see if this loaded. Should put those at the top. Okay, that's better. Close. Interesting. Let me now just get rid of this completely. That's all normal. And let's see if this builds without an error this time. Because I totally forgot why we were getting an error. Okay, so it works totally. It's a subdirectory thing. I hate subdirectories. This is something I've wrestled with on a few projects now. I feel like I haven't totally grokked how subdirectories work. Well, now we should actually just be able to do the npm run preview and test it locally. Oh, did I delete that script? Totally did, because I never used it. Let me grab it from the this little thing. See what that even does. I've never tried it. Okay. I'm assuming this is just hosting about page works. Oh, okay. I'm assuming these have Yes. Okay. Oh, it's really tiny. So everything is nice and peachy as long as we don't care about a subdirectory. Michelle, should we just ignore subdirectories for now? And because that's really just like I don't know. It's not something that we have to deal with. Like the only reason I'm doing that is because of GitHub pages. And we could poke around.
I mean,
but,
I'm curious because I feel like I also always reach this point where I'm like, subdirectories are annoying and I don't quite know how to deal with them.
I mean,
so I'd be curious if you could figure
I
it
just
out.
have to, so let's see. Let me see what I've published. Putting cool. Archives. Okay, this is definitely with subdirectories. Oh, this was two. This one is, I think they're both with SvelteKit. I think those are actually the only two projects were in SvelteKit. So let's check those out. We'll do a cursory exploration.
Yeah, we can try for like 15 minutes. Yeah, we don't have to.
Oh, nice. 15. That's a lot of time to be confused. All right.
Whatever you want.
What did I call this? Yep. Okay. Let's see what I did here. Also, so this one doesn't have sub pages. It's just like a single thing. Oh, interesting. Okay. So for pads, I did both base and assets. See if I had to type it, put this anywhere else. It doesn't look like it. So it looks like that's all I changed in this one. And then in the New Yorker cartoon caption one, and this is the one we were referencing the first time we did this. I just did this base thing. I had this trailing slash thing. I'm not sure what that was about. Neither of these note were for GitHub pages. So that's a whole other situation. And let's take a look at like, no, that, oh, interesting. That's okay. That's because this is using actually like the absolute, we have our, I mentioned why we can't use the assets folder. We have to use common because we have this assets folder on the root of our domain, which lets us have like use these shared assets for anything ever on the web. And because so we can kind of like speed up with caching. So this didn't even deal with relative font stuff. Where else would this have cropped up? Let's check out our app CSS. Trying to think. Let's go to the project itself, see if there's any clues. Oh, images. Let's start with images because you have to put in a path. That's felt. Intro. I feel like I had an image in the intro. Okay, so that was just a normal relative image path, so there's nothing fancy there. I don't even know if let's even see if that one has a, let's go to our GitHub. Let me see. Did I even have a GitHub pages for this? I feel like I must have. I'm pretty sure I shared this around, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I did. Okay. Oh, let's re-enable this GitHub pages, which it looks like I used. Yes, there's the doc folder. Can't imagine it's gonna. I wonder if let's see if there's a commit history on this config file, right? Because this looks like it was that history. Okay, yep. So once upon a time, it was working on GitHub. So actually, I'm curious now because I just turned it on. I bet it's not going to work because the path, I changed the path stuff. That is my speculation. Oh, it's kind of working. What? I don't even know anymore. Okay. Let's unpublish. Okay, so maybe what did I learn from all this? We're definitely within your 15-minute time window. Let's go ahead and try that. Not happy. Must be an absolute path. Is that not an absolute path? I didn't change it in this one. So this is part of it. I still don't know what's going on with this thing. It's a 404 from root. So if we look at it, start here. Oh my God, there's so much stuff in here. What is that doing? Base. Website. Are we on the latest? Yes, we're on the latest. Let us simplify things. Let's go back to home. And let's just not even do anything. So it should only there won't be any pages crawled because the only thing that's going to render is index, I think, because we're not linking to other pages. First, we haven't ran it locally in a while. Let's make sure. I don't think we touched anything. Great, coding. Now let's run build. Curious if we get an error here. Still the error. Oh. What I'll do next is maybe, let's go, actually, I have an idea. This is the actual code base for the starter template that I used. I'm curious just if we just nothing in here. It's just like default settings. Okay. Build. I want to see if we get all the same. Actually, limits. It's really PNP now. Start fresh. Okay. Test things out. Great. Working. See what happens when we build it here with nothing, and then also adding so nothing works great. Let's see what happens when we add a I just had a thought. Oh no, okay, it is. And Svelte starter. Oh yeah, how about that? All right, so it's either something I'm doing wrong or there's a bug with the version of Kit or adapter static I'm on, which is not unlikely given that they're constantly changing. Because I guess worth noting is on these older projects like New Yorker, this is definitely an older version. Yeah, this is on super older version. Interesting. I'm going to chalk it up to that for now. Is that a satisfactory finding for you, Michelle? I mean, it's not satisfactory, but
yeah, I feel like we've explored it thoroughly. It's been about
I mean, it just seems strange. Like the only thing I changed in the config, I mean, I suppose there's this weird trailing slash. Let's explore that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last thing I'll explore.
Cool.
Otherwise, though, I mean, okay, I put that stuff in the right place, right? It's just within Kit. Yep. That's too many things open now. So starter. Pad space. Yep. Okay. Okay, we're back in our starter template running build. Still not happy. I'll have to poke around the Discord and stuff after this to see if this is unique to me. Also, I know it works because if we go to, Matt actually just asked me to update this. Now switching gears, updating another project. Story. New Yorker. And okay, I have to do a little bit more work. I can't just update it right now. But I bet if I ran build, it will work because I've been doing this every week. It's so happy. Okay. All right. We'll come back to the conundrum that is GitHub. But we did get the paths. We got the font paths working and stuff, which was the initial point of that. So for now, we're going to have to be content previewing it locally, which is kind of annoying until I poke around the Discord server more. So let's go to our issues. Oops. So that's good. I don't want to open it. And we will create a new one, which could be described as can't build with a non-root base path in static adapter. Amazing. Okay. I might do one more thing. Oh no, I feel like that's a good stopping point. I'll stop there. Then I'll maybe even think about what to do in the next one, which will be soon. I have a bunch of miscellaneous tasks, but maybe I can consolidate some things, check in with people on the team, and go from there. So that's all for now. Thanks, everybody.